Welcome back to Woodshop Cooking. I am your host, the Honorary Chef. Today we are going to, we're going Asian actually. And today I'm going to show you how to put together a crab and shrimp rangoon with a sweet and sour dipping sauce. So buckle up and pay attention, and I hope you enjoy. I'm going to show you how we're going to deal with the crab and shrimp rangoon, or known as a wonton. And the ingredients will be posted here. But first, I want to take my shrimp. I've already drained them, but I want to make sure that they're nice and dry. Make sure we get every shrimp. We just want to pat them dry. Now we're going to use part of the shrimp for the shrimp and crab wonton, and we're going to use the other part of the shrimp for the shrimp spring roll. And you want to, I didn't mention this in the beginning, but you want to make sure that your cream cheese is definitely room temperature. Otherwise you are not. I mean, you'll get it to mix if it's right out of the refrigerator, but you're going to play hell with it. So it's best just to let it sit out. Make sure you mix everything thoroughly. Got some cream cheese starting to bottom. Come on, baby. You get up in here and get mixed in with all this delicious flavor. Okay. And there we have it. Okay. Now, so that all of the flavors mix and meld, we're going to set this aside for 15 minutes. I'm going to check on the veggies for the spring roll, and when we're ready to make the wontons, I'll bring you back and I'll show you how to put it together. Okay, now that the cream cheese mixture has been put together and set aside for 30 minutes, we're going to put together the ingredients for the sweet and sour sauce, and then we're going to be cooking this when we go to deep fry the wontons. So the ingredients for the sauce will be posted here. So make sure you pause this and get the list of ingredients, because there's a few of them. But I already have the sugar in the pot, and in this measuring cup I have the water and the pineapple and orange juice already in it. So we're going to set that aside for a minute because we want to deal with the cornstarch. This cornstarch, you want to whisk it around in some sort of liquid to avoid the clumps in it. So we're going to do this. We're going to mix the vinegar with the baking, or the cornstarch and the soy sauce. And I might just have enough. Oh yeah. Okay. And you always want to do, if you're sharing a measuring spoon, you always want to do the dry first. Because if you don't, then all of your dry will stick to the wet spoon. Okay. You put it there. We grab our whisk. And we whisk that around. sure that there's no clumps. And the cornstarch is our thickening agent, but you don't need to go overboard on the cornstarch because the sugar in the water is like the simple syrup recipe that I made a video of, and I'll post a link to that video down in the comments. But this is pretty much the starter to that same simple syrup recipe. Give or take a few increments on the measurements. But now that we have that done, we're going to pour that into the orange juice and the pineapple juice and the water. And then we're going to whisk it in. We're going to whisk it in to the sugar. Making sure that all of it's dissolved. Now, you see the color that it is, right? And if you're wondering, well, Mr. Arner Chef, that's not the color of sweet and sour sauce that I know. Well, patience, because this is how we get it there. Now, you can use red food coloring if you want, but I choose to use ketchup because red food coloring is not good for you. Use it as little as possible. Whisk that all together. Oh, I smell the pineapple and the orange juice. And Okay, now we're going to put this on the stove, and I'm going to go ahead and light my stove and start preheating my oil. And when I come back, I will show you how to fold the wontons, and we'll get to frying and we'll get to eating. Okay, now that the stove and the oil are preheating and the sweet and sour sauce is on the fire, and the mixture has rested for a half hour, it looks amazing. I mean, if you look at that, all the spring onions and imitation crab meat and the shrimp. Now, one thing before I forget, you need to pay very close attention to the sauce, because if you try to heat it too quickly or you don't stir it enough, it does have a high tendency to boil over very, very quickly, and it will make a mess like that. You could leave it for a second. Don't go smoke a cigarette. Don't go play with your kids. You know, this is why I like to make the sauce at the same time I'm frying the wontons, so that I am there at the stove, because these wontons literally take about 1.5 minutes to cook. So you have to stay there to monitor one, so you might as well be there to monitor the other. So everything's 2 thumbs up. Now, the wonton wrappers that I use, sorry I already opened this. Don't know if you can read that, but that's the wonton wrapper that I use. And this is how we are going to put this together. Let me grab some wonton wrapper. Take your wonton wrapper, right? Want a little less than a teaspoon, right? Okay. And then rake it in there. And then you're going to want to go end to end. Okay, end to end. And then rake it in there. And then you're going to want to go end to end. And you end up with that. A beautiful little flower. See that? Okay. Now we'll do one more. Okay. Make sure all sides are flat, right? Okay. And then you go there. Well, sometimes it likes to be a little difficult, but it's all good. You can get it. Push the side up, and push that side up. And just kind of work it like that. Another beautiful little flower. Okay. And that's all there is to it. It doesn't take a whole lot of time. It's actually a really easy process. So I'm going to finish stuffing these wontons, and when it's time to fry them, I will bring you back and we will get to frying. Okay, welcome back. Now that all of the wontons have been folded, this is what they look like. Now I doubled this recipe, so I got a wonton ton of wontons. So these are what I'm going to fry up now, but it ended up making like 65 pieces. This is going to be used for a dinner party that we have been invited to, and this is my contribution. I chose the appetizer straw. So this is what I'm making for it. The rest of them are going to go in a freezer. So let's transition over to the stove and I will show you how we fry these. And let's put it together because it's going to go really quickly. These only take about a minute, minute and a half. You know, once they pop up to the top, give them like 10-15 seconds, pull them out because they have a tendency to get real dark real quick. So let's go over to the stove and we'll get these fried up. This is what this absolutely amazing. Now, I wanted to show you the consistency of the sauce. You see how thick that is? Not too thick, not too thin. You want it to stick to all that pastry that is delicious and crunchy. Now that I've dirtied my spoon, I just wanted to show you all that. we are going to take a sample. I don't know, Steve. Which one do you think we should try?
One right next to the bowl.
This one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You hear that crispy, crunchy, oh, look at that. Creamy cheese. You see the steam coming off. Oh, yeah, baby. And then we just take a little bit of dip. Crunchy, crispy, cheesy. The spring onion adds a really nice flavor. Oh my God, that's so good. Anyway, guys, I hope you like this. Stay tuned for future videos because there's going to be a lot more coming out. But make sure you leave a like and a subscribe. And what I'd really like y'all to get into is, leave me a comment, positive or negative, even if it's a question. I always get back to them. So I appreciate every one of you. And until the next one, I wish you all good wishes.